was horrible. I would have been dead on the concrete if it wasn't for London Health Sciences. I remember even the helicopter taking off when I was there. I stayed in one of these buildings at the would have been the seventh floor, I believe. Very nice patient rooms. I compared them to a very expensive condominium. They had bathroom, and then if you shared the room, you had somebody in there, but it was large, and there was a very sturdy floor, very nice floor and everything. And also, they have climate control for the air conditioning. That's a good thing, especially in the summertime. That was the worst for me. If you could get into that section, they got had me in for some time. The emergency downstairs, nobody likes emergency. You're like, I feel like they could have cut my legs off in the emergency. What's this? I don't know. It's scary. A couple times they brought me to the emergency with the mental health issue when I was going through homelessness, becoming so psychotically restless. It's not you're not doing anything wrong. You're just sort of like delirious, and you can't. Um, I don't know how to explain it. You can't fall asleep. You're all high on adrenaline because you want to get to the next step because you're so homeless you can't just sleep on the concrete, freeze. But then it becomes after a certain amount of time, it all adds up and becomes a super serious health mental thing where you'll die if you don't get the right sleep and all that. And it becomes like the debt. You don't want to get too much sleep debt. It's not only because it becomes hard to fall asleep. You think you're going to catch up on sleep, and that's the condition. Your body ends up saying, nope, you're going to still get your same old 6 hours or 8 hours of sleep, but you're not going to get like an extra 24. Like when I was young, I could do a 24-hour sleep. But then there becomes a time where your body won't do the 24-hour sleep, and then you've got so much sleep that you can die. So much staying up for so long, and you're not getting the proper sleep. It's hard to catch up on. I'm lucky. I still am catching up on it. It takes long periods of time to catch up on sleep debt. It's not something you can just catch up rapidly on. Maybe when you're younger, but it gets harder and harder. Even when you're young in the beginning, very beginning, and then it just gets harder and harder. And then eventually, if you keep doing it, you crack like a nut. You can't fall asleep, and you die because you're not getting. It just happens like it's a weird cycle. Yeah, they had Wi-Fi in there. That's a good thing. And they let you have your phones in the one area. But I even went into the one area. They had me in that one area. They strip you down completely. I was in there. I can't remember what they were calling that because I broke a door in there. I'm really lucky I broke that door because I think they were just going to discharge me. I was never going to get ODSP, but everything was that serious. Where I was so delirious. I broke this door, like one of these doors, literally just slammed my body into it so hard, like a football player type of tackle it. It broke the door open or whatever. So that's unfortunate. But that is the reason why I got ODSP. I think they would have just discharged me the next day. But after I broke the door, they put me in the special area of the hospital where they took everything away from me and all that. And then they reevaluated me. And then I had extra time to talk to the doctor. And that's when I realized, oh my goodness, the root of the problem is, and I hate to talk about it because it's a money thing, is that ODSP or what have you. So I didn't know how to get around to it, but that's the way I got around to it. I almost died, and then they saved me over here with their big program that they got there. They have a whole different program other than ODSP. Some can't remember what they call it, but it's got to do with their hospital and like patients and whatnot. And I was part of that program for a while, and they used to call me on webcam and stuff. But then I kind of shied away. But I should be keeping up with it. I should actually be going to my local practitioners and whatnot because I got some recurring ailments. Of course I do. It's an unbelievable recurrence. But it was one of the greatest hospitals I ever went to because I never actually stayed I any time in a hospital. I knew I was gonna have to, and I didn't get everything done, but for the time that I did stay, it was a very good stay. Met a lot of people, but I'm like this scientific experiment sort of amount of ailments. And there were a lot of people like that there in the same ward that I was too. People that were all different, from what I call Pargerians to all different types of people. But like, there's people that are chronically ill, and I'm one of them. But I have a different kind of chronic illness than some of the more popular ones. Uh, you know, but I still share the same. It's hard to explain. I'm sort of like this lady here, what have you, but in a male form. It's hard to explain. I think they call it I don't know, it's something when you're in I don't know, something to do with that when you have elder your body's just worn down or something like that through genetics or careers. Yeah, careers are cool. Some people come from a long line of history of a family that was hard working, or what have you, or maybe it didn't mix all the way best, or what have you, and then they outputted certain ones, and that's kind of like where you get the tired ones, or the ones that like the Benjamin Button sort of one, where you're young but you are much older and all that, and suffer from the illnesses of somebody that they do when they're much older, that is on average much older. But anyways, there's a really cool YouTube channel. They got a really cool YouTube channel actually, where they go through a lot of the different sections of the hospital and all that. That's a cool thing. You should check out their YouTube channel. And they got a lot of people working there. Yeah. What's this? Emergency response team. I never seen these guys. Or men and women. I never seen them. He's got the Ray Bans with underneath the. I never seen that. What's this? Throwback to when South Street Hospital opened its doors to self-guided tours. It's a 136-year history. Critical care trauma center patient beds. Wow, yeah. It looks scary. From looking at it from that perspective. But back then, that would have been the best technology of a hospital. You would have been. But the equipment looks sort of what you would see in those older horror movies, sort of thing. But it generally, that's was the best of the best. But it doesn't look too old. Black History Month. That was last month, February, right? Got more here. You got all the nurses behind the thing. They always help you. I remember when I was on, they're standing there for a while. There's a lot of nurses. Maybe that wasn't a specific area, but behind the glass, the nurses behind the glass and all that. Christmas. This is in the main lobby. I got a picture with this thing. I don't know what it is. It's like this clock with a bunch of bells. It's grand. When you see it in person, it's really big. I got a couple pictures with it. I was slept in the bathroom at when before I had got admitted. A while before I had to sleep in the bathroom. I fell asleep in the bathroom all the way down in that lobby, and the security beat me up really bad. I had a broken back. I had to I wish they would have had just admitted me at that time, but I stayed in an Airbnb and let my back heal for like 3, 4 months. They beat me up really bad, those guys, because I fell asleep in the bathroom. But then I don't know, 6 months later, I properly got admitted to the hospital like I was supposed to, and I got my ODSP and all that. So security really needs to calm her down and realize what the hell they're doing because they're out of it. A lot of them are, yeah, a lot of them are not handling what they need to handle, and they're hurting people that don't need to get hurt. Having some of the securities and then they're friends with the ones that are really the ones they're supposed to be dealing with. That's what I've noticed. With some of the really bad characters, they become friends with them because they deal with them for so long or what have you. Then somebody comes in, a real patient or what have you, real patients and whatnot that are day to day coming in and out, and they're so stuck on their day to day routine with a certain ones or what have you that they mistreat people, but that happens. But the way I was mistreated was definitely so it was against the law how I was treated. My vertebrae and everything was that was mutilation for sure, assault, and all that. But it doesn't matter. They're paying big money back for it. They'll be paying for it for the rest of their lives, and they know how they'll be paying for it for the rest of their lives. And so I just hope they make it to work and pay their taxes every year. Anyways,